Oh, I guess I wasn't unmuted, sorry. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Community Redevelopment Agency virtual regular meeting, Tuesday, December 8th at 5:30 p.m. Call the roll, please.
Chair James.
Here.
Vice Chair Salvino.
Here.
Board Member Davis.
Here.
Board Member Llewellyn.
Here.
Board Member Odman.
Here.
CRA Director Chen.
Here.
City Attorney Ansbro.
And here.
Thank you.
Thank you. First up, we have administrative reports.
Yes, good evening, Chair James, Vice Chair Salvino, and members of the CRA board. I'd like to report to you on the Celeste City Line project. This is the mixed-use project with Dev Metwani and Merrimack Ventures. This is an 8-story mixed-use project located at the northeast corner of Federal Highway and Dania Beach Boulevard. It consists of 340 market rate residential units, approximately 13,000 square feet of ground floor retail space, varied utilities, wide sidewalks, public park, exercise, fountain, and on-site parking. I received a call from Mr. Metwani about 2 weeks ago, and he has advised me that they are prepared to move forward with this project now. So we are in communications with them as to what they need to do to finalize their construction documents and to move forward. They have also advised us that Florida Power and Light has received their permitting for the relocation of utilities as required, and that they expect to have all of their permits completed by early 2021. In other words, in about 3 weeks. The At Home Dania Beach is working with the residential beautification grants. The vendor doing the work for us is Rebuilding Together, Broward County. I'll refer to them as Rebuilding through the rest of this report. They've completed all the contractual requirements for the At Home Dania Beach Residential Beautification Program, and they have provided an update of the work they've done in the Northwest Bird Point, Sun Garden Isles, College Gardens, Dania Beach Heights, and East Federal Highway neighborhoods. They've noted that the residential beautification has been completed on 46 homes. They have also done extended services on homes that are owned by people over 60 years of age. And those extended services included critical home repairs and seasonal chores that are more difficult for older people. In 2020, CRA, the rebuilding contract, an additional 22 residents were provided with home improvements under that contract, valued at $1,500 each, and there's no additional cost to the CRA. For an economic development update, the economic development manager continues to communicate with Dania Beach businesses in the CRA. Work is being done to update the economic development area section of our CRA website. The manager is also reviewing and following up on signage, permitting, and installation for the city's rebranding signage. There are currently 7 applications being processed for the $1,000 Small Business Resilience Reimbursement Grant Program. And just to refresh your memory on that, Small Business Resiliency Reimbursement Grant Program are $1,000 grants. It's to assist business with the extra cost of providing safety and health standards for reopening their businesses. Upcoming spotlight on businesses. The Reiki Revitalization Center, located in Canterbury Square in downtown Dania Beach. They will be featured on the CRA's Facebook under Spotlight on Business. This business, which is run by transformational coach Sherry Kaplan, features Reiki sound healing, chakra, tune-up, revitalization. I'm sorry, that's a chain of words. It's not accustomed to my to my speaking. Coach Kaplan has been featured in numerous local and national TV, radio, and print media, including People Magazine, Montel Williams, and ABC's 2020 television programs. And she's recently launched a Healers Network virtual fair on Zoom for real-time teleholistic counseling on Marketplace website. So that is going to be featured on our Facebook pages. Art of Community Grant, the Dania Beach Honor the Legacy Art of Community Grant project is scheduled to complete this month. Marker number 8 is a 100-foot mural, and it is complete. And there was a photo attached in your package, your board packages about that mural. Currently, there's some modifications being made to these number 7 and number 8 markers with updates to the names that will be alongside grammatical correction on some of those murals. Some markers are in the permitting stage, and updates will be sent for fabrication. All markers will be installed at the same time, and the markers will be numbered to facilitate a walking tour that will be established in the future. There will be a numbering system, and the sake of that will be so that it is done in a way that doesn't interfere with the visuality of the mural. For patch update, due to COVID-19 and the need to keep social distancing and so forth, this year's patch holiday harvest is being promoted online. Buyers are encouraged to order their produce online and to pick it up at the patch. Staff continues to reach out to current and potential buyers via email and social media to participate in online purchases. And we are promoting our Grow and Home grow bags, which come with seedlings and seed packs as great holiday gift for friends and family to create a healthy backyard garden. The Patch Market Garden remains closed, again, because of COVID, and online orders and wholesale transactions continue. We look forward to opening when health conditions permit. I also want to mention that the Tamara James Foundation Thanksgiving giveaway went off this year, and it was done very efficiently with help from the Broward Sheriff's Office for traffic control. And the idea is we moved the entire operation to the sidewalk. Did not have to pull into and out of the site. They basically were able to do their pickups from the sidewalk as a walk-up or via cars in the street. And the Broward Sheriff's Office basically kept the traffic lines spaced out over a space of, looks like 3 or 4 blocks, so that there was no unnecessary congestion and people were still able to pass through the streets. For signage update, the CRA is finalizing the city's rebranding signage. The signs at permit stage will be installed once the permits have been granted. These are located at the quarter deck, the Dania Beach Marina, Fire Station Seal, the C.W. Thomas logo, Frost Park logo, and City Hall North, East, and South. There are also 2 signs located in Broward Heights at the entrance of Broward Heights neighborhood at Griffin Road. What's interesting, we found that signs that are currently there were not erected by the CRA or the city. And so some determination needs to be made as to what to do with the new rebranding signs versus the signs that someone installed some time ago. And we're going to need some direction on how that is handled with the city, because again, those cities were installed before the CRA was involved with them. Also, in the last November's meeting, there was some discussion about the monument signs that need to be relocated that are actually, I think, located on East Dania Beach Boulevard and Griffin Road. And I think there's an item on the city's agenda following this meeting that actually discusses that in more detail. And with that, that concludes my administration report.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. I don't see anyone with a hand up. So I'll go right to the presentations. The first presentation is a presentation awarded to Mr. Leon Carroll, who's the lead coordinator of the farm and market at our patch. And it reads, and this is the award. I know we're doing this virtually, Mr. Leon, but this is for you. It's a very beautiful glass award that reads an appreciation of your service to the Dania Beach Community Redevelopment Agency. For those who may or may not know, Mr. Leon is a really long-time resident here in the city of Dania Beach. And he actually lives maybe 300 feet from the patch, if that. And he's been working tirelessly, with our farm and market, and his service has just been incredible to our city. He's very selfless, and he served in our military, and he just celebrated a birthday, so happy birthday as well. He epitomizes the essence of a hardworking member of this staff, and he has the ability and skill set of a master gardener, and he has been a leader of the patch since 2013. So he has a lot of longevity in where he's serving. He's made and continues to make a significant contribution to the development and the growth of the Dania Beach Patch Farm and Market. And so this is from the CRA staff. They wanted to make sure that they are appreciating his positive, helpful demeanor and his attitude, which is great for the rest of us and the rest of our, our residents and our visitors who frequent the patch. So I say thank you, Mr. Leon, and I will be taking this to your home and making sure that you receive it. It is very beautiful, so thank you. Next on the agenda, we have a presentation from Dr. Chris Ford. I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Ford, who has a wealth of knowledge. He is born in Akron, Ohio, where LeBron James was born and raised, and he played basketball over there in Cleveland. But he works for DOE, and he has a lot of information to tell us. And so I'll let Mr. Chen give us a better welcome, since they have a personal relationship, and let him introduce him on a final level.
Thank you, Chair James. I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Chris Ford, for probably a little bit over 2 years. We've exchanged a lot of ideas and brainstorms together, as well as managed to find a few places to be productive together. Dania Beach actually sits in the geographic center of one of the most prolific entrepreneurial and startup business areas of the United States. A lot of people don't recognize it because we haven't figured out how to properly establish our profile as an entrepreneurial hub and a startup center. And so among the things that I hope to accomplish in Dania Beach is to actually establish a comprehensive entrepreneurial ecosystem, and to elevate our profile and recognition that goes not just regionally, but hopefully statewide, if not nationally, that complements the activity that's already occurring here. And frankly, Chris Ford and the Department of Energy Mission to Market program, FIU, is an important part of this plan, because they've such a unique component to build around. And with that, Dr. Chris Ford has spent many years working with the Department of Energy And in fact, he worked closely with them in terms of establishing their technology transfer processes and programs. And now he is the mission to market manager at FIU Advanced Research Center. And with that, Dr. Ford, can you start us off?
Sure. And I sent some slides for future reading if you want some additional details. So thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mike, for again, it's always a pleasure to see everyone. And I look forward to the future in-person meetings. I'm one of the few engineers that are extroverts. I enjoy people. But to add some points, a little bit background, I've been at FIU now almost 3 years to the day. I worked in the Obama administration, as mentioned by both the mayor and Mayor James and Mike, specifically on two things for the Department of Energy that are relevant to what I'm doing now. The Lab to Market initiative, which was seen as an opportunity by the Obama administration to open up our national lab systems. We have 17 Department of Energy national labs, about 44 federally funded research and development centers all across the country. And in the wisdom of our former 44th president, the idea was to use national labs and the technology that comes out those labs, such as the GPS, the internet, battery technologies, to name a few, that have been spun out and built amazing industries. And so the vision was to leverage those technologies to help our country coming out of the financial crisis of 2007. Fast forward 13 years now, we're in the middle of another financial crisis, this time stimulated by a unfortunate pandemic that we're going through now. And so these programs and initiatives are all the more important. Both the current Trump administration and now the incoming Biden-Harris administration are looking at these types of programs to help restart our economy. And so second thing I worked on with them that's relevant to the Department of Energy is that we had to figure out ways other than Silicon Valley, Boston, to get other ecosystems being in the high-tech ecosystem in terms of tech entrepreneurship. And South Florida has great entrepreneurial activity, but not so much in terms of high-tech entrepreneurship activity. As an example of the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach metropolitan areas is actually not even in the top 20 in the country as measured by Small Business Innovation Research grants, which are real good indicators of the healthy high-tech ecosystem. Venture capital, despite there's numerous of wealthy high net worth individuals and various probably private capital and in terms of private equity capital, venture capital angel investor network, and specifically for high-tech entrepreneurship, is not at the rate that you'll see in other regions. South Florida is not, again, not in the top 10. So I look at all these things with FIU, various other universities in South Florida. There's a really great opportunity to build a unique entrepreneurial ecosystem. And so what I did for the Department of Energy, I'm doing here is how do you get these untapped talent sources and regions to play in the high-tech entrepreneurship economy. And so what I've been leading for now past 3 years at FIU is an initiative called Mission to Market. And we are really focused on four big ideas. One, how do you start to transition and translate all those amazing technologies that are nascent at the Department of Energy? Specifically, you look at the ecosystem related to 24,000 patents at the Department of Energy that are just sitting there untouched and seek to be commercialized. Secondly, we were really big into STEM entrepreneurial workforce development. One of the challenges in any high-tech ecosystem is where are you going to get the STEM, not only just STEM education, but how do you get the STEM entrepreneurial talent? So getting our graduate students and our STEM science, technology, engineering, math students being available and amenable to be able to work as in entrepreneurial startups or scale-ups. And then the second key thing, the third thing we're really big on is which is probably the heart of our effort, is a incubator network, a business incubator network. So we run an incubator program in partnership with Startup FIU, but it's not meant to be housed actually at FIU. It's actually meant to be a scalable incubator network that leaves the four walls or the campus of FIU into regions such as Dania Beach or other parts of South Florida. And the uniqueness of our incubator program, which we have our application open right now for our cohort 3, is teaching entrepreneurship built around looking at patented technologies. And that's one of the unique nuances. So if you are an entrepreneur who are really talented in terms of growing and pursuing opportunity without regard of resource, which is the fundamental definition of entrepreneurship, but maybe you've never had access to cutting edge technology, or maybe you've had interest in technology, but really hadn't found a footing or a pathway to do that. So we built an incubator program that would support you, teach you how to access these technologies, how to partner with the federal government, including the Department of Energy, how to go after grants, and then how do you build a scalable business around these technologies. And what we do is, for every entrepreneur that we accept to our program, we match them to our graduate students that are taking one of our tech venture courses at FIU that will support the entrepreneur, help them do the research, help them start to work with and actually do customer discovery to find actually validated interest in their tech venture idea. So those are the four key things, three of the four key things we work on. The last fourth thing that we're really big into is access to capital. So we have a grant support system we're building. We also are building a venture capital, what we're calling IP to Capital program, wherein we're helping entrepreneurs, especially those who are underrepresented, get access to not only grants, but get ready for venture capital. Some of the issues, I've talked to a number of investors here in South Florida, and one of the challenges they have is just they wish they can get access to entrepreneurs a bit earlier in the process before they come to them with business plans or pitch decks and so forth. They really would like to mentor them and give them some pointers on what they look for and consider to be investable businesses, so they can start to design and grow their company in such a way that they can attract growth capital. So those are the four things. But as kind of at the high level, what we're trying to do as an initiative, we're not meant to be within just the walls of FIU. We're really interested in how to partner with municipalities, how to partner with regional partners. It's meant to be a regional initiative that has the ability to scale. To my knowledge, there are not very many programs across the country that have an explicit focus on whether it's Department of Energy or federally funded patented technologies as a thesis to help businesses ideate and grow. And that's something that's unique. Maybe a validated point of why this is important. If you look at the S&P 500, which is all stock indices right now doing tremendously well in spite of the pandemic, 90% of the value of our S&P 500 or any of our publicly traded equities, 90% of that value comes from intangible assets. Intangible assets, patents, know-how, people, human capital skills, trademarks, so forth. So right now, the S&P 500 just passed about 30 trillion in total in equity, in terms of total equity. If you parse that out in terms of what that looks like in terms of patented technologies, that, if my math is correct or update, you're talking no less than about 18-19 trillion dollars of value that you see from patented technology. So if we look at the Department of Energy portfolio, you're talking about $80 billion of untapped value there for businesses. So the notion is if you can introduce entrepreneurs in this region to this type of entrepreneurship, very quickly they can get access to very valuable technology that has an intangible value that is tremendous. There's some studies recently on federal patents, and it's been conventionally shown that each patent is worth millions of dollars easily, one patent alone. And so for our entrepreneurs who want to get a competitive advantage and grow some really unique technology businesses, this is a really great way to go to short circuit a really long, arduous process of being an inventor and doing research, which I had a background being a researcher some years ago. So with that being said, as a university, we're looking forward to building a partnership with Dania Beach as your CRA and your economic development activities for the region. We look forward to working with Mike and company in terms of figuring out how we can support some of your new entrepreneurial development opportunities. We have a model with our incubator content. We're really amenable to supporting any entrepreneurial effort. We have a real, what we call a white label type of incubator program that we really are trying to scale. And we really just want to, as a university, we really want to build partnerships. We're at FIU's in the business of doing more applied research and commercializing technology. So with that, I'll stop there and look forward to any questions or any comments. So thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Ford. I don't see any hands. Executive Director Chin, did you want to add anything before we move on? You're muted. I'm trying to unmute you. There you go. Up.
Thank you. Yes, and I want to just expand a little bit on some things that Dr. Ford talked about. Basically, what you're talking about is a program that is really designed for effective and working collaborations. And this is something that I have had a lot of experience in doing. It's everything from developing collaborative relationships for educational programs to shared resource programs, working with investors to put together facilities and assist in making investments that help us build on this comprehensive ecosystem that we're talking about. So this is really a very, of all the things that Dr. Ford spoke about, it has an expanse and range that goes way beyond anything that we could spend the time talking about tonight. And it's such a great opportunity to serve as a foundation for introducing education and new startup businesses and educational programs into Dania Beach.
Thank you. Thank you. We don't have any other presentations, so we have the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls? Oh, I'm sorry, Board Member Davis.
Yes, thank you, Mayor James. I just wanted to know from Dr. Ford or Mike what the recruitment process is for finding those entrepreneurial candidates. It seems that there is a lot of high technology and there's a certain kind of background with STEM that you would have to recruit for those programs. And I'm interested how you go about in recruiting them and if there's any possibility to recruit or partner with schools so that maybe our residents or our schools or our kids have backgrounds that would lead them to these kind of opportunities.
Thank you, Member Davis. I really appreciate your question. So we recruit through our website, our various platforms, our applicants. So we have a very simple application process. tinyurl.com/M2MINC 2021, and it's in the slides. I'll make sure you have the slide, but the link is in the slide. So I really appreciate your question about backgrounds. You don't necessarily have to have a tech background. Some of the most successful tech companies, actually, the CEO did not have a tech background. Probably the most famous one is Steve Jobs. He could not write one lick of code or build hardware. Although there are some examples counter to that. What really our recruitment process, we look for folks who are open to this type of entrepreneurship. Number one, this is a bit very non-traditional to what's probably out there being taught, unless you've looked at things related to lean entrepreneurship. What we look for is folks with industry background that perhaps could be amenable to some sort of tech solution. I'll give you some example of some entrepreneurs doing well in the region. One entrepreneur was a real estate professional who had a background in marketing, no tech experience at all, but an interest in technology. And we're working with him still. He was our best performer, and literally in 11 weeks, he went from an idea to generating revenue. With a competitive advantage in the construction real estate development area. And he's still building out his industry expertise with this new construction methodology. He has industry partners, and he's really getting close to the point now where we can start getting growth capital to start building out some of his technology ideas. And we found a patented technology that supports his idea, but zero technical background. And I'll give you the other far extreme, probably our best performer of cohort 2, 30+ year cybersecurity professional, but who has never done business before. And so we supported him via just teaching him about entrepreneurship, this technology process, even though he's a technology expert technically. He just wasn't aware of how the process of building a tech product, building a business. So he actually has a double-sided business where it provides both a service and a technology solution. And so he probably will need to go through again. We got him generating revenue again in less than a year, just with our entrepreneurship training. And now we're adding in some of the technology products. So we look for anyone who is willing to put in the commitment. We're fortunate with the support network we're able to build. We literally have a 95% completion rate, which is rare in most incubator program. And one of the reasons being is that we try to support them with students, and we just don't people. The other point is we definitely need help with recruiting. That's something we're refining. So we would love to work with you, Daniel Beach, and whoever else. We've worked with some various partners in the past, just through their own networks, and it has been a challenge. There is sometimes a thought that you have to be a tech person to do this type of entrepreneurship, and that's actually not the case. I've taught this curriculum to high school students. And so it's actually being able to be open to understanding there's a process we had to build in of how you take a patent and decompose it into a product. And then there's a process of teaching lean entrepreneurship, which is different than small business entrepreneurship, different than government contracting type of entrepreneurship. It's really specific to really building scalable businesses. And so once you learn that technique and that style of entrepreneurship, and then we add in the IP to market type of training, you can be successful in any patent portfolio as long as there's a way you can help you build out your team. So yeah, welcome to, I know Mike may have additional points, but looking forward to figuring out ways to partner and recruit.
Actually, I appreciate the referral. Yes, because the program is so diversified, from the description that Dr. Ford just made, you can see that one of the things we want to accomplish with this program is to develop a steady stream of potential applicants and candidates for these programs. And so it also gives us the opportunity to create more fundamental programs to get young minds across our neighborhoods engaged into entrepreneurial interest and start to understand how their imaginations or their current ideas could actually translate into for real life's work. In fact, in some cases with incredible prosperity that comes with it. So this is a program that allows us to come into a lot of different levels of entrepreneurship. That works, like I said, across neighborhoods, across high schools, across the public schools. There's a lot of opportunity out there. It's all about channeling their ideas and imaginations to where we're preparing them to go into Dr. Ford's program.
Thank you. And thank you again, Dr. Ford. Before we move on to discussion and possible action, or the consent agenda, I'm sorry. Before we move on to the consent agenda, I did see Stephen Locke. I know you are here. The issue that you wanted to speak about is more appropriate for you to speak at the commission meeting because you want to speak about the Dayton Beach Bar and Grill. I will let you speak for your 3 minutes here, but it's more appropriate if you spoke at the commission meeting. So I'll let you see what you would like to do. Would you like to speak now, or would you like for me to hold it until 7 o'clock? Stephen? Okay, I don't see you, Stephen. You're unmuted. Are you there?
I
Now?
think, Chair.
Yes?
Yes, I can wait until the 7 o'clock meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I didn't have any other papers, but I know that I see Reverend Wiggins in the audience as well. Is there anyone else that wanted to speak? Please use the hand tool if you did. Okay, we're gonna move on to the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls? We have a motion.
Motion to approve. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No proposals and bids, discussion and possible action. Resolution, Tom.
Yes, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Community Redevelopment Agency, CRA, of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding and MOU between the CRA and the Florida International University Board of Trustees, FIU, to explore the establishment of a mission to market M2M Innovation Center, running for conflicts, further providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Before Executive Director takes over, Board Member Llewellyn has her hand raised.
Well, I mean, is there going to be further discussion on this? Or this is what we were just hearing from Dr. Ford, correct?
Yes, I was going to allow.
Okay, go ahead. When he's finished, then I'll go ahead and I'll make my comments.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Chen.
Thank you. Well, all the things that were just discussed by Dr. Ford with a few of the supplements that I added basically starts with a formalized handshake, if you will, in the form of this MOU that's before you. The memorandum of understanding is actually a formal agreement to collaborate together and try to reach some outcomes. There are no specific commitments as to resources. All resources are as allocated on a year-to-year basis, and it specifically does not have any fiscal or financial implications. So it's really, it's a document to create a think tank, move forward and try to create this ecosystem like we were just discussing.
Thank you. Board Member Llewellyn?
Yes, and actually that answers my question. I was going to ask you if we have any idea what the cost of this is going to be. I think it's an excellent idea. I think it's an excellent program, and it's something that's definitely needed, not just in the CRA, but throughout the city. But I just wanted to know if there was any idea of what the cost would be or the impact could be potentially.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any other discussion on this? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve. I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Sorry, Board Member Davis,
Yeah.
Board Member Llewellyn,
Yes.
Board Member Odman,
Yes.
Vice Chair Salvino,
Yes.
Chair James.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
And the second, discussion and possible action, it kind of worked hand in hand with this. It was just that with this incredible program, I think there are opportunities that may, exceed the CRA limits and boundaries. And, I had a great conversation with Mr. Chen and with Anna and our finance director and our city attorney, just seeing what our options were. And the collaboration efforts and what would happen if a program went outside of the CRA area. And from what I understand is that as long as, and I'm going to ask Tom to really clarify this for everyone else, but as long as the initiatives are rooted from the CRA and has everything to do with the CRA, that it wouldn't be an issue if some of Mr. Chen's time was spent outside of the CRA. Am I correct, Tom?
You're absolutely right. You captured the meeting we had the other day. There was no need to fund him separately. when he's doing some things that affect the city, as long as you pointed out, he's rooted in doing CRA work, which then spills outside the literal boundaries of the CRA. That will all be permissible under the CRA plan.
Okay, yes, I initially put this on the agenda because I thought that we would need some other technicalities or some other forms filled out or transactions done legally. So this could be ethically possible, but with Tom's expertise, he has assured us that that is not the case and that we don't need to explore other options in the event that this Mission to Market program extends beyond our CRA borders. Yes, Board Member Llewellyn. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to reiterate, make sure that we are sticking to the CRA plan because we've had issues with that in the past where things have gone outside the plan, and I don't want to end up having an issue where we end up having a problem. So as long as Tom is in communication on a regular basis to make sure that this is being, things are being addressed appropriately, then I'm fine with that.
Okay. Did you want an answer from Tom or?
No,
Well,
I
I
think-
will, but Michael and I will work together very closely, I'm sure. If he ever has any questions, or I do, we will exchange them and make sure we're both on the same page on things.
All right. Well, thank you all. Board member comments. Board Member Davis.
Not much. I just think this is a very innovative program, and I like to see that we're moving forward with technology and education together, and I look forward to seeing all the possibilities that this MOU will bring. So thank you, Mike, and thank you to Dr. Ford for bringing this to our attention.
Board Member Llewellyn.
No comments tonight. Thank you very much. Welcome, Michael.
Board Member Ottman.
Nothing for me. Just welcome to our new vice chair and our new board member.
Vice Chair Salvino.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. I am very happy the way the meeting went off tonight. Michael, you're a breath of fresh air. I really enjoyed listening to you talk with all your programs you've got lined up. You're a person I had spoken to prior to this meeting, and just to introduce myself, and I'm excited. And I think all of us are excited to work with you, especially with the chair bringing out a program like this. That's a great start for us. And I think that with this happening, I think we'll all do well together and work well together in the CRA. Thank you for the comments from the doctor as well.
Thank you.
I also want to just extend another welcome to our new board members and to Mr. Chen. I've had several conversations with him and meetings with him prior to this meeting, and I'm very comfortable that he will bring creative ideas for us to look forward to, and that will benefit CRA and our city. And I am excited about that. I am excited and thankful that the Tamara James Foundation's Thanksgiving drive was able to give over 500 turkeys. It was a total team effort. City staff showed up. The patch workers really, really extended their entire days to be out there and serve the community. And BSO went above and beyond to provide excellent services so that we didn't have any traffic congestion and jams. And we were able to have people walk up as well as drive up. And we had a lot of community business support that gel together and made this happen. And during these types of times, I know that that is very important in order to further our communities with togetherness and unity. And so I would like to thank everyone that was involved in that. With that, I have no further comments. And there are no informational items. And so I'll see you all at 7, and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.